Hi, everyone. Welcome to Life Made Well. My name is Joyce Holthouse, and today I have an incredible story to share with you. I'm sitting down with my friend Jalene, who has had an amazing transformation because of intermittent fasting. And not just weight loss. You're going to be so inspired as you hear her non-scale victories as well as her weight loss. She's been maintaining her weight now for almost 2 years. And yeah, I'm just so excited for you to hear her. So get ready for an inspiring conversation. Um, we're going to be sharing tips with you, milestones, unexpected benefits that Jalene had. If you're on a health journey, or maybe you're just considering intermittent fasting, this is a must watch for you. Stay tuned, hit that subscribe button so that you can see and hear future videos. And let's dive into this remarkable story of conversation. So I am going to bring Jalene on with us. Good morning, Jalene.
Good morning.
It's so
Thank you.
great to have you on. I am just so excited for our guests to meet you and hear your story.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
so, Jalene, I know that you are a fur baby mom. You have a couple of rescue dogs, cats, even a bunny,
Yeah.
and you live in California.
Mhm.
And you've been a preschool teacher for like 35 years, which is amazing, I think, and sounds delightful to me. I
You're
love that age.
you're dating me.
Oh, that's okay.
It is.
Well, I would just love for you to share what inspired you to intermittent fasting. What kind of started it for you?
So it was 2020, and we all know what happened in 2020. I had been working from home for about 6 months and living in yoga pants and stretchy denim skirts and we discovered Uber Eats and we were getting a lot of food delivered. Even though I eat fairly healthy, I ate a lot of French fries and just didn't even realize that I was also going through menopause at the same time. And um, I'm a preschool teacher. So we were doing Zoom meetings March 2020. We were no longer allowed to be in class. So we were doing Zoom meetings with preschoolers, which is crazy but fun. But at the end of the year, we did a car parade where all the teachers got together. It was the first time we got to be together since March, and we all had to wear masks. And the kids were with their parents in their cars, and they would drive by and wave. And somebody took a lot of pictures and posted them on our Facebook page and our website. And I didn't even recognize myself in the pictures. It didn't look like me at all. I didn't realize I had gained so much weight. I mean, I should have known, but I just didn't realize it until I saw that picture. And that was in June. Closed my laptop and I was like, I can't deal with this right now. There's just too much going on in my life. But I did start eating a little bit better. I stopped with the French fries and kind of cleaned up my diet a little bit more, but not enough. And then in November of 2021, I decided I need to look at those pictures again. And I did, and I cried. It was good for me. I was kind of mad that those pictures were posted, but actually, I needed to see them, and it's who I was. And so I did a deep dive and I follow a local doctor. Her name is Jennifer Rolands. She is in my area and she's a gynecologist, but she's also very holistically minded. And at the time, she had a podcast and I listened to it, and it was about intermittent fasting. And I had heard of fasting before for religious reasons, but I didn't really know the health benefits yet. And I listened. So she was interviewing Lori Lewis. I don't know if you know her. You probably do.
Do
She's
yeah.
probably a friend. So I listened to her story and I bawled my eyes out. I mean, I feel like I'm going to cry right now. Like, I resonated so deeply with her story. And that day I started fasting. That day. I was really mad about giving up the cream in my coffee. Super mad because my coffee was more cream than it actually was coffee. But within 2 weeks, like now I prefer black coffee. I don't even like cream. Yeah. So.
Cheers to black coffee. Cheers
Yeah,
to
yeah.
black coffee.
Cheers.
Well, and you know what? I was a big, I never really liked the taste of coffee, but not only did I get rid of all that stuff, but now I add like water and pink Himalayan salt to my coffee. Those are my
I do that too.
Those are my coffee additives.
Yeah, I don't do that every day, but there are days where I feel like I need more salt and I'll just add a little bit. I'm sure my coworkers think I'm so weird.
Well, and what I love about your story, Jalene, is I've heard other people talk about they saw photographs of themselves and that was it. Sometimes we don't really see ourselves in the mirror. We avoid the mirror do you know what I mean? And so what a great catalyst. To, in a way you want to be mad at them, but now you probably want to thank them, right?
I honestly wish that there were more pictures of me because I didn't. So I saw the pictures in June, but I didn't weigh myself. But I changed my diet. So when I started in November, I know that I had already lost some of the weight. Yeah. So I have no idea how much I weighed in that picture, but I can guess.
So Jalene, when you started intermittent fasting, and I do know Lori Lewis, I have been on a few different things with her, and she's wonderful. I think she's excellent about mindset as well.
Yeah, I agree.
So when you started, then you kind of heard about it. How did you know what to do, or how did you start your journey with intermittent fasting?
I listened to her whole podcast and she talked about Jen Stevens. So I immediately Googled her and then I had her book delivered the next day. Fast Feast Repeat. I read Delay, Don't Deny. I've read every single book that she wrote. Yeah. And I started really slow. Like I have been a lifelong dieter, and in my 40s, I was having some health issues and discovered I had a sensitivity to wheat. So I had already kind of changed my diet and was eating whole foods. I worked out a lot. I was in pretty good health. It was just menopause that got me, but I didn't want to weigh myself. And so I did weigh myself the first day that I started and was horrified. And then I put the scale away and I just ate less often. I want to say like a 16-8, maybe a little bit longer for about, I would say 6 months. I just really settled into it. I didn't want to make it feel like a diet because, we know it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. But I didn't want to get into that diet brain. And I had an eating disorder in my teens and in my 20s. And my husband actually noticed and pointed it out to me. And I've been in, recovery since my late 20s, and I didn't want to trigger that again. So I just started really slow and just ate less often. I ate probably 2 meals a day with a snack and just did that slowly for 6 months. And I say I lost the majority of my weight within that 6 months. And then after that, it started to slow down a little bit. And I didn't freak out. I just changed to a different protocol. And I started to do 19.5. And that's my favorite. Like I do it. I've been in maintenance since November of 2022-ish. And I consistently do 19.5. Sometimes I'll do 24. I don't like extended fasting. I don't like the way it makes me feel. It makes me feel like I have a hangover for days. Yeah. afterwards. So I just try to be as gentle as possible. I don't want to trigger that diet brain.
And it's kind of funny, isn't it, that our I love 19.5 as well.
Do
So
you?
that's
Okay.
funny. Yeah. And I've been in maintenance for almost 3 years. Are you okay?
So, yeah, my iPad just
Hey,
fell over.
that's
I'm
what I
so
love about this is real. This is real, everyone. So yeah. But I'm not going to edit that out. It's just part of what could
good.
happen. I mean,
Because
my
anybody who knows me knows if I walk into a room, I'm going to trip, I'm going to spill something, I'm going to fall. This is just, of course, I'm going to knock over my iPad.
well, there you go. I mean,
Here
yes.
I am.
And you know, you have fur babies. I have a fur baby. They can start barking or run into the room at any moment. So,
Yeah. I locked mine in the back because they would all be like on my head right now.
but I love the gradualness of how you started, and I love you said you were gentle with yourself, which I think is so great, especially, you know, I'm a fellow lifelong dieter, you know, and so you and I have talked about that dieting mentality. And actually, any of you listening, I do have a video that I did about diet mentality. But diet mentality is real, and it's hard to shed when we've lived that life for so long. So I totally, you know, I get that. And you know, I love Jen Stevens like you. And I heard her recently on an interview talk about, she said, sometimes when we say intermittent fasting, it really scares people. And she said, maybe we should call it intermittent eating, which I absolutely loved. But
I tell people who I know might be triggered by the word fasting, I just say, I just eat less often. Like,
I love that. Eat less often. Yeah. What, so I know that you have also just had some amazing, what we call non-scale victories or NSVs. And I want to ask you to share those, but also, were you expecting that to happen?
No. Like I listened to the stories constantly, and I've heard so many people share, and I just didn't believe it until it happened to me. It just seemed too like magical. I knew that I was feeling better, but I didn't expect to lose all of my skin tags. Like that was crazy.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah, and those started showing up in my 40s, and I didn't know then, but I know now that that's a sign of insulin resistance. But yeah, I had a whole bunch on my neck and just crazy places, and they just literally fell off. Like just one day I was like, whoa, they're gone. So I didn't expect that to happen. My skin is so much clearer. I used to get a lot of like eczema and rashes. And when I stopped eating wheat, I didn't get them as often, but I was still getting them. And that doesn't happen anymore since I started fasting. I feel like my hair is longer and stronger. My nails are a little bit stronger. I'm allergic to bees. And in 2020, before I started fasting, I was in our pool, and I got stung on the back of my arm. And it took, I want to say, almost 2 months for that to finally go away and clear up. So what happens to me when I get stung, I just get huge welts, and they go away and come back and go away and come back, and it's worse at night. So since I started fasting, I was just stung by a bee last week on the hand, and I still had a reaction. I'm still allergic, but it was right here. And before fasting, you can probably see that little spot right
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah.
But before fasting, it would have been literally like this big, and it would have lasted for so long. And so I got stung on a Tuesday, and I had to take Benadryl a couple nights in a row because only at night is when it would start to swell. And I think it's because I wasn't moving around, and it would just, sit and cool.
Sure.
But I mean, look at that. That's like almost nothing. And
Do
I
you know
know
what's
that's from fasting.
You know what's amazing about that, Jalene, and yet not surprising, is because allergies have to do with our immune system.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that fasting and autophagy and all of that works with your strengthening your immune system. I mean, there's studies out there that have shown that.
I
That
agree.
makes sense that you would have less of a reaction,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because your immune system is probably so much stronger. So,
Exactly. Yeah, I
and
feel like
you,
my immune system is stronger, and
yeah,
I had avoided COVID for so long. And I'd been exposed, I work with children. I'd been exposed probably 25 times. I don't know. Maybe that's exaggerated, but I did get COVID in December. My husband got it at work, and I barely felt it. Like I lost my sense of smell for a couple of days, and I felt like I had a cold, but I was still in the backyard doing gardening. I was still, doing laundry. I was all over the place um, with COVID.
wow,
And I mean, there's no way for me to know for sure how I would have reacted before I was a faster, but my immune system was really not great when I was going through menopause and struggling with my weight. I was sick often. And,
right,
I still get sick, but it doesn't last as long.
right.
It's
Yeah.
over pretty quickly, and I can still do things. And, I'm not just on the couch crying.
Well, and I know, Jalene, you have shared before about you had some serious thyroid things going on as well.
Yes. Yes, I do. I have Hashimoto's.
Okay.
So for years, Hashimoto's runs in my family. Almost everyone in my family has it. But I was talking to my primary physician, and I just kept saying, I think there's something up with my thyroid. And he would do all the testing, and he's like, no, you're normal, you're normal, you're normal. Everything is normal. And I just, like, my instinct was telling me this is not right. So there is a parent at my school. She's fabulous. She's an endocrinologist. And I just happened to mention it to her. And she said, come on in and I'll do some testing for you. So she did a deep dive. She did all of the thyroid tests, including the Hashimoto's antibody test. And sure enough, I had the antibodies, which means I have Hashimoto's. But I got tested after I'd started fasting, so the numbers were very, very low. So I know that before I started fasting, the numbers had to have been higher. And fasting is just really helping it to keep it lower. And I feel better. Like I can feel that my thyroid's starting to work again. And the numbers are just getting lower and lower. I get my blood tested like every 3 months.
Okay.
And the numbers are just getting lower and lower and lower and lower. And
I mean,
yeah.
the body is amazing. Our bodies were designed to heal when
Yes.
we put the right things in, when we
Mm-hmm.
take care of them. And that's one of the things that I think has just blown my mind are all the studies with intermittent fasting and what it does for things like inflammation and immune
Mm-hmm.
system, our cognitive thinking, our
Yeah.
emotional, I mean,
Our
so
gut
many
too.
different things. You're back. You're back.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what happened.
It's okay. Not a worry. You're back.
Here I am.
So again, yeah, that's just so amazing what our body is capable of doing. And so again, I love to tell people intermittent fasting is so much more than weight loss.
It
So many
really.
times we get fixed on a number on the scale, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
and I would love for you had shared with me, you had a goal weight in your mind, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think all of us do at some point. But if we just keep fasting, our body will decide. And you had an experience with that. I would love for you to share that with the people listening.
Yeah. So my goal weight, I guess I should share how much I weighed when I first weigh. When I finally took the scale out, I was about 176 pounds. But I know I was more than that in June when I,
Sure.
the car parade picture. I bet I was even 20 pounds heavier. But anyways, I'm only 5'3", so 176 is a lot of weight for my small frame. And I just decided, I weighed myself that day, and I decided that I thought, about 140 would be my perfect size. The last time I was 140 in my 40s, I felt great. I felt good in my skin, and I thought that that was the perfect goal. And I hit that goal within a year, and then I just continued to lose. I was totally shocked. And I got down to about 133 has been the lowest. Then I got a little bit of diet brain. And then I thought, well, when I was in my 20s, I weighed, 125, and I wanted that to be my goal. And I had to do like some serious talking to myself that, I'm going to be 55 years old. Is that really realistic to be 125? When I was 125, I had an eating disorder. And that's when I finally went, okay, I need to stop weighing myself, and I need to just go by how I feel and how
Mm,
my clothes fit. And I know, like, we know when we're starting to put on a little bit of weight. You can feel it. I don't need a scale to tell me that.
so true.
So I stopped weighing in March. I have my own little private group on Facebook, and I did a no stop the madness March, no weighing, and didn't weigh for a whole month. Actually, no, that's not true. I weighed once, but I didn't weigh for 30 days. And then when I weighed myself again, I was still right within my goal range. So I'm
Sure.
like, why do I need to keep weighing myself every day? And when the diet brain had snuck in, I was weighing myself when I woke up in the morning, after
Mhm.
I had my coffee, after I hit the 19 mark, 19
Wow.
hours.
Yeah.
That's not healthy.
No.
That's so I am not
Mm,
weighing myself anymore, and I'm just going by how I feel and how
that's
my clothes fit.
and there's so much freedom in that. There
Oh
is
my gosh,
so much freedom in that.
there
Wow.
really is.
I'm
Yeah.
so proud of you for not getting on the scale because that was one of the toughest things for me to give up, and I think it is for a
Yeah.
lot of us. We don't realize that's part of our diet mentality. Our reaction to
Mm,
the scale is part of our diet mentality, and
right.
we don't have to live that way. I mean, the scale can be a, a wonderful, tool, only
Hmm.
one tool of
Right.
progress when you're in weight loss or that type of thing. But when it starts
Hmm.
to impact you emotionally or you
Yeah.
know, I mean, how are you going to treat your family that day or what mood are you going to be in?
Yeah.
Then that's when you kind of know, you know what? Or like
Mm,
you're obsessively getting on it, just to
yeah.
see. That's,
Well, and
yeah,
I'm sorry. And the
no, that's,
crazy thing about that is when I started to get that diet brain and I wanted to be 125, I have my wedding dress and I have a pair of jean shorts that I wore when I was 125. They both fit. So with body recomposition, I'm going to be 55. So I'm a little more fluffy, I'm not as toned as I was in my 20s, but they still fit. So why did I have to have this number in my brain? Does it
mm,
really matter if I'm
right.
10 pounds heavier when I have the same size body? It
Yeah.
just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Made me
Yeah.
feel crazy.
And it's funny, and maybe it's more this way for women than men, but that number can really control us. And so,
Yeah.
so that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
what would you say? Because I'm sure there are some people listening to your journey and thinking, maybe I want to try intermittent fasting, or maybe they are new at intermittent fasting. But what would you say to people that are just starting their intermittent fasting journey or are considering it?
I would say take pictures. I wish I would have when I first started. The only pictures I have were those horrible pictures that other people took. But take pictures, because you can really see a difference in those pictures. And especially if the scale is not being your friend, those pictures will show you the progress that you're making. It'll show you the way your skin looks. It's so important, even if you don't ever want to show them to anybody else but yourself. Take the pictures. And if you're sleeping at night, you're already fasting. So what I did was I just stopped eating a few hours before I went to bed in the beginning, and then I would just extend it a few hours after I woke up. Started so gentle, and then I just eventually loved the way I felt when I was fasting. I feel great fasting. I feel great feasting. Like, it, to me, it's just like a no-brainer. It's just the perfect lifestyle.
I love that, Jalene. I thank you so much for coming on and just being so honest and sharing your story and, all of the different ways that intermittent fasting has impacted you. I'm sure for those of you listening, I would love it if you would just in the comments say thanks to Jalene. We just so appreciate her story and her taking the time. Maybe even share what tip did you hear, or what non-scale victory did you hear that was encouraging to you? Jalene, thank you again so much for your time. And
Thank
again,
you.
I encourage you, if you are just hearing this for the first time, or if you've been around a while, hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up. That will help to grow this channel. And I'm excited to always share tips that will help you in your intermittent fasting journey. Everyone have a wonderful day.
Thank you.